Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Unqualified Experts. Today I have the lovely Hilarious. She's an actress. She's a comedian. We've done Chip Chipperson together, so if you guys have seen that episode, that's where you'll know her from. This is Chanel Omari, and I'm saying your name right? I should have asked you that in the beginning.
Yes, you're saying my name perfectly.
Yes.
Very impressed.
Thank you. It's you, when you have kind of a different name, I feel like you're good at getting other people's names right. I don't know why. It's like a sixth sense.
For a white woman. No, I'm just kidding. But like,
yeah.
Because my last name is like Middle Eastern. So you're right. A lot of people like flip on it. That's really cool that you knew it right away. Thank you.
Hey, of course. Thank you so much for coming on. This is going to be really fun. Guys, I'm so sorry we're a little bit late. We're having some technical difficulties, but we figured it out. We got it set up. We're good to go. I want to thank, before we start, Backhand, thank you so much for the super chat. He gave us love and he gave us hugs from that super chat. And hello, everybody. I'm so happy that you guys are here. So this is something that I do for streams that you are in no way obligated to do. We don't always hit this goal when I do like other streams with other people and stuff, which is totally fine. But if you want to, if you don't, all good, but I will. At 200 in super chats, I get into a bikini. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. I have a good time. If we hit 500, then... then I put whipped cream on myself, and we did that last night. That was really fun. Or I did that last night. That was amazing. So I just need to download this. Sorry, that's the one thing I forgot to do while we're getting set up. All right, so we're going to get into this. We're going to give advice to the internet. Oh, Chrissy's going to come down and do it in person on September 20th. I love her so much. Okay, so... that's done. I'm going to get this stuff. Guys, did you hear that? On September 20th, Chrissy is going to come down and do this in person with me. That's very exciting. Okay. No. That's the thumbnail. Nick's over there shaking his head. I'm sorry, Nick. Producer Nick is not happy with me. All right, guys. My document is in dark mode. So this is all stuff that we get off the internet. People write to various platforms, and they're basically like, I have this really weird problem that I need help with. We're going to... uh-oh. We lost sound again. You know when Ethan in a bikini force goes Fabio? Hi, David. Hi, Didlotic. Shut up, Didlotic. All right, well, we had it. This is what happened before. We lost sound where she couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear her. And then we got back into it and it was fine. And then I don't know what happened. Oh, I am... Master Lions, is it really your birthday? Oh, September 20th is your birthday? That's also my dad's birthday. Oh my God, that's awesome. Hell yes. Let's get Chrissy into a bikini when she comes out. Okay, so, Chris, oh boy. I did Didlotic, shut up, Didlotic, all in the same breath. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so... we got to figure this one out before we get going. So that's so weird. Maybe Nick typed her and ask her to leave the call and then see if she can come back in again.
If I do that, everything disappears.
Oh, everything disappears.
No,
okay.
It's grabbing that. As soon as I exit this, the whole screen capture gets weird.
Got it. Okay. All right. Hell yeah, Master Lions. At 50, Anna gets the peanut butter out. So if she leaves the call, let me just text her.
Now I hear you again.
You can hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. All right.
Okay, so I think it says unstable connection, but I have the connection. So hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. Do you see my video? Yes, you see my video. Okay, there we go. Let's try this. Okay, I am so sorry. Okay.
That's okay. You said you're not using your AirPods, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's not using her AirPods. Nick says it might be an AirPod or an Apple problem, which does happen sometimes, but you're not using it this time. So that's weird. Okay, interesting.
If my alarm came on, should I put it on airplane mode? Because does that have any effect with?
Maybe because you're on Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should, maybe that will work. I don't know.
I'm going to try airplane. Hold on. Let me try airplane.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh my God. I'm so old. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on.
Oh my God. No, you're fine. Everybody's just waiting for our expert advice that we're going to give people. Are you guys very excited? Only swears. We have audio. Okay, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out and hanging in here with us. This is good. Yes. We're going to get here eventually. We're good?
We are.
Yes.
See you though. It says unstable internet connection on your end. I don't know if it's my end because it says.
I'm hardwired in and I have a gig of internet, so I think mine should be good.
Okay, so fine. Do you see me though?
I can see you. I can see you and I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you. I just can't see you right now.
Okay. All right. We'll work with what we. You can see me. Okay. Yay. All right. Okay. We're absolutely killing it. No, it's okay. We've got this.
Please give me another chance. Okay. By the way, this is a part of getting older. I know I look 22, but I'm 38 and I need to get ready with my Discord community. So please forgive me, guys.
Guys, we got to get her up to scratch on Discord. Yeah, you really do look 22. Good Lord.
Thank you.
You look amazing. Okay, so our first problem that people are asking for on the internet is a guy pushed me off the bed for calling him ... Oh boy, I want to know what she called him. It was our first date. We had done physical things and I was filled with emotions. I told him, "You're so beautiful," and he pushed me off the bed. I fell onto the floor and bashed my head. Oh my God. He said, "Don't call me that." I got dressed and left. I'm very confused. I'm new to America from the Ukraine, so I don't understand his reaction to that word. Did I say something wrong? Should I tell someone what happened?
OMG. First of all, that's happened to me many times just for breathing. So I understand you, girl. Men, some of these men.
Wait, what? People have pushed you off of them for calling them beautiful? I don't understand.
I know. So first of all, I think, yes, she should tell someone. I think my mistake is I used to just let men do whatever, when I would be around them if I called them beautiful, or I understand a guy doesn't want to be called beautiful. That's where the guy's coming from. He wants to be called sexy or hot or handsome, but still that doesn't warrant him to push her off the bed and have a concussion,
Yeah.
So I think we'll run from this guy because that's not.
It feels like a little bit of an overreaction. I feel like, you know what it is? I feel like he might be gay or bi-curious and has some weird feelings about it. Because if you're that I don't know, have that strong of emotions about someone calling you beautiful, you can be afterwards, yeah, that was kind of a weird turnoff. I don't know if I like you calling me that, but that's a very strong reaction.
I think so too. You're right. It's you project what you're insecure about. So
yeah.
You just, defense. I think from my experience, I've had that happen where I've called a guy, "You're so beautiful," or I'm admiring a man and they become hot and cold with me. So that's happened to me before where they'll kick me or push me off the bed and I'm yo, this isn't cool. And I think my mistake was not telling anyone till now. So you get the exclusive. And I also feel yeah, it's a projection, but no woman should stay in that situation. I think what we make as a mistake is the guy that we like or the girl that we like, we stay in longer than we should.
Yeah.
So she definitely A, tell someone, and B, she should not. See, sometimes communicating with someone like that is not worth it. It's best to actually put boundaries and action in place. So not answering his call or just not talking to that person again, just to keep yourself safe. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. I definitely think that's a good idea because you're right. I think as women, and guys, honestly, guys do this too. Everybody kind of does this. We ignore red flags because we're really into the person, and you're like, "Oh no, that's no big deal." But I feel like that's such a hard red flag to ignore. And also the fact that this guy is pushing her off the bed when she's from the Ukraine, so he should know that there's going to be some cultural differences. Maybe that's a thing that's acceptable there, and he's just that's just it's just weird.
Hard. And also I was going to say pushing someone off the bed, especially a beautiful woman, yeah, there has to be something going on up there that he has to figure out. And definitely she needs to not be in something like that.
Yeah.
If she's America from the Ukraine, you know, you got to really keep your safety guard on. That's what I've learned. You can't let them just do what they want to you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had anyone push me off of a bed before. I'd be like, "Excuse me, is that what just happened?" I've also no, I was gonna say I've also never called a man beautiful, but just because it's never really like come into my mind. But it's not bad.
Have you ever had a guy like that you've been seeing kind of be hot and cold with you though, and like push you physically ever, or no? Like if you were like coming on to him in front of other women, or like?
I don't think so.
That's good.
But
you also look how beautiful you are. How could and so sweet.
You're very sweet, but I'm also not really like that. Like I'm kind of bad when it comes to that. For the first like while that my husband and I first started talking and were dating, he thought I wasn't interested because I'm kind of standoffish for a really long time. It takes me a long time to warm up to people in general, like in social situations and also in dating situations. Like it takes a while. So I think by the time I'm at that point, we're together. Like if there's PDA happening or I'm kissing you or like coming on to you, we're already a couple. I'm not just doing it to you when I don't really know you, I guess. Oh no, I lost you again. Yeah, maybe say handsome instead. Like, I agree, Jason. You're very sweet. Thank you so much. I can't hear you again. Can you hear me? She saw his giant hog. Get my money and go home. Good for you, Sizzle Chest. Yeah, I do. I feel like a lot of people in the chat are saying, oh, she was hot and Slavic. Like, what the hell was this guy doing? Like, hello. This is, oh, you know what? Hey, my love, can you bring me up a sparkly? I don't think he can hear me. He just got on the thing and I need something to drink. My mouth is so dry. Hi, Epitwanimus. Yeah, we have a mime in the chat. I mean, in the show today. This is going to be a special performance. I know we're doing the "Can you hear me now" thing.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay! We got it. Yes. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Can you tell me the last thing so that I didn't hear? I'm so sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. I don't remember. What was I talking about? This is terrible. This is my brain. Oh.
When you met your husband, like right. So finish that.
Oh yeah. So when I met my husband, he didn't think that I was into him for the first like couple weeks or whatever, because I'm very standoffish. But it's just, I don't do it on purpose. I'm just really shy for a long time. I'm not the aggressor and I don't make moves. It's usually, it takes a long time for me to become comfortable around someone enough to have like PDA in front of someone else or like make the move to hook up with them. So it's usually, if that's happening, we're together. And if they're rejecting me, then we definitely shouldn't be together. Like that point.
Can I tell you that that's so smart? And I think most women should take that advice. I think so. For me, I am shy like you. It takes me a while to trust people. But then with men, I realized as I'm like dating them in the beginning, I get they let me feel too comfortable. And that's where I go wrong. I think if we're a little standoffish as women, even advice for this woman from the Ukraine, if she was a little standoffish, I think it would work in her benefit more. Just American guys in general, I think, I've dated Europeans, I've dated, every type of nationality you can think of. And I think with American guys, they're not secure enough. Like you said, either they're projecting, either they are bi-curious and they don't want to admit it, or they are in the closet still, they don't want to talk about it, which is fine. But they're not like treating the woman right. And I think it's our mistake for being so open and complimentary. And that's what I realized even from my other flings, my ex relationships, is like, I shouldn't have been so aggressive at first. I should have been like you, standoffish, let them try more.
But it's interesting because I feel like different guys want different things. Like I've heard, because there's a lot of people in the chat too that's like, don't make us work for it. And then that girls don't compliment. You are the best. Compliment guys enough. They're like, I want girls to compliment us more as men, because I feel like they don't get a lot of compliments. Like especially just an average guy that is maybe, I don't know, like not a Brad Pitt type guy. Like sure, those guys might get compliments, but I feel like the average guy probably isn't getting a lot of compliments because women don't feel comfortable giving them compliments. So maybe they're not comfortable hearing them. I don't know. Like that's interesting.
It's like short, yeah, because it's a catch-22. I know what you're saying, and then and I feel like in my head, I'm like, I should give them more compliments because I know what you know, where it's guys aren't getting them, and then you give them, and then they turn around. But you know what I realized? It's because they're either just not that into you then, and that's where we have to take the message of like you said. Then if you're not into me, then we're just not gonna work. Like we're just not gonna talk.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Old Nerdy says if I get in the chat, he said if I get a compliment, it makes my month. Yeah, like I think a lot of guys really do appreciate compliments, but I think you're absolutely right. Have you ever seen that movie, He's Just Not That Into You?
Yes, I love it over and over again.
It's a really, really good metaphor or not metaphor, but it's a really good movie that basically shows you like this is how dating is. If someone wants to be with you, they will, and they will make the effort. So if they're being hot and cold, they're not interested. And there's a lot of times where you just like want the person to be interested and they just aren't. It took me time to learn that too. Like I've definitely dated people where it was not a good relationship and you realize, oh, it's because it's not that they don't want to commit. They don't want to commit to you, which is fine. It's not like a personal thing against you. So not everybody clicks and like that's okay. It's just you have to go through that so much. See, Daniel, I had a girl say I looked pretty good 8 years ago. Still never forgot. You'll take that with you forever. A lot of guys don't know how to take a compliment. Like if they grew up in a rough house, they just aren't used to it. Exactly, Hippopotamus. Exactly. Hi, Seven. My muscular armpits. Thank you. I think it's nice to compliment people. And I try to compliment people if they compliment me. Can you hear me?
Okay. Sorry, can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you though.
I can't hear her, but she can hear me. Call a girl handsome and see what happens.
I can't. Oh my God, everyone's gonna hate me right now. Hold on. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We're having one of those days.
Hear me?
I've heard people say, I can hear you. Can you hear me yet?
Can't hear.
I've heard people say that that's a very handsome woman. And it's weird because it's like almost a compliment, but not quite. But I've seen men that you're like, wow, that's a beautiful man. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, we did it.
Hey. We did it.
We got it.
Like, I feel like sometimes also, right, it's like, it took me time like you about a man who's not into you. The problem is the hot and cold because some men want to keep you on the
They want to keep you on the hook. Yeah, yep.
On the hook, and then you don't know better, and you try to communicate with them, and then once you fuck another guy, excuse my language, can you say F?
Yeah, you can say it. Yeah.
Or screw another guy, or hook up with another guy, or post it on Instagram story, all of a sudden it's like I'm labeled or the woman's labeled. So it's tough. It's tough.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. It's like an odd thing where guys do this, I think probably a little bit more than women. Like that might be a more gender specific thing. I do think that they simultaneously kind of want girls to be easier so that they can sleep with them, but then also kind of look down on those women. And it's weird because like you can't have it both ways. Like you either want that or you don't. Like I don't know. Right. It's weird. You can't. Mark Norman has a great bit about that, about how he's like, people talk bad about sluts, but sluts are amazing. Well, I love sluts, and like the way he did it was really funny. But he had a funny bit about it. That's
Do you think it's
really
a power
interesting.
thing, or
I think that they just want to get laid, but some of them have like weird ideas about sex, and it's really, people feel very, very different ways about sex, and it's the way that it's just across the board. It's bizarre because you hear a lot of different, some people are very open with it and they're like, this is my sexuality, this is how I am, life is very short, I think you should enjoy yourself. This is how I feel about it. I think you should enjoy yourself. There's nothing wrong with pleasure. I think it's fine as long as you're being safe. I think that's important as well. But then other people believe that it should just be for two people, which is also fine. Like, I don't look down on the way other people want to do. I think where the problem comes in is when you look down and judge other people for not living the way that you think that people should be living or the way you want to live. And I think that's where it gets weird. But everybody views sex a little bit differently, and it's kind of interesting to see.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think when you hold back, or from my experience, even if the guy likes you or not, or the girl likes you or not, no matter, more than a friend, I think if you do hold back like your style, I think it will help to test if the person's into you or not. And that way you can either give a little bit more or give a little bit less instead of going all in. you know, because a lot of times when they want to keep you on the hook, they'll make you feel like you have to go all in, and then.
Right, yeah. And I mean, sometimes it works out. Like, I know some people who have sex on the first date and they end up getting married and they're really happy. I think sometimes that works. Right. Nick and I did not have sex for a month when we dated for a month. Yeah, we did it for a month before we ever had sex. But that was kind of on purpose. We wanted to make sure we were compatible.
Yes.
Before we, because it's easy to think that you're in love with someone because the sex is really good, and then it's not.
Yes, and now I'm realizing, wow, so I did that for a long time before the pandemic. Like before the pandemic, I would literally go on serial dates, and I wouldn't hook up with the guy if I liked him for like 30 days to 60 days. I would give myself. Okay, they say 30 to 90 days. So the guy takes you seriously. Because I think even though people are progressing these days in 2023, I still think men are secretly old school. They're traditional. They want, like you said, they want to see if you're, or maybe like what you said, they just want to see if you're compatible, so take it slow.
Yeah. I think it depends. It's so interesting because they're so all over the place, and I haven't dated in such a long time. Cody's in the chat. Camelot's in the chat. Hi, Camelot. He said Zia looks down on me every day. I could never look down on you. You're too tall, Cody. I'm just kidding. I love you, Camelot. The girl rule of thumb: have sex with guys you don't care about. Make the dudes you actually want wait. I mean,
that's brilliant. Yeah.
That's good advice. And that's coming from a man who smashes a lot of pissers. So that's his
Even
term,
though it's a double standard, because, you know, I've been trying that lately. Like, oh, let me just be like a man. And if I want to hook up with a guy and he doesn't want to be committed, I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not going to be all butthurt about it, even though I'm more of a girlfriend type. But I'll save it for the guys I really like. You know, that was I think that was the mistake, you know? Like, you're treating every guy on the same level, and then you really are kind of lost if none of them like you.
And I think guys are kind of the same way. They probably sleep with the women that they're not interested in. And the ones that they are interested in, they spend more time chasing and wooing, and people that they are like, I want this to be long term, so I'm not just trying to get into your pants.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how like some guys like pretending like they don't know you after they've been with you for like over a year, and that's also hard, you know. Just like pretend, like they'll have sex with you, pretend like make you think you're in a relationship, and then because they want to be with other women or they don't think you're the one, it's like they're showing like they don't care about you. It's very weird. Dating has been hard. It's a hard situation.
Dating is, I have not dated in 10 years, but when I did, I definitely, but I think.
Oh my God, that's crazy, right? I keep forgetting too. It's like, oh my God, you really are a married woman.
Yeah, I've been with my husband for a really long time. But we actually met on Tinder too. And before that, I did date a bunch on Tinder in LA. But I think at that point, I wasn't thinking like things being serious with Nick was kind of by accident. I wasn't planning on it. I was just kind of having fun. I was going on lots of first dates. I went on one second date. I didn't sleep with anyone off Tinder because I thought, I don't know, I was scared. It was LA, and it was like, just came from Hawaii, this small island in the middle of the Pacific. And I was like, this is a lot. And so so I went on a lot of first dates, and I went on like one second date, and it was fun, but I wasn't expecting anything. So I didn't have any like expectations. I wasn't thinking about it. Cody says, bro, I wish I was part of this convo so I could be screaming over y'all. Camelot, do you want to jump in with us? We're on Discord. You can jump in. Let me know. I know you have your stream coming up, but he's got good advice.
I was going to say, like, do you feel like when you and your husband, after the month mark, and you guys decided, you know, to sleep together, was that automatically you guys are exclusive, or did you have to have the talk too?
We actually ended up having the talk, I think, a little bit later. So yeah, we dated for a month, and then, God, we moved really fast. This was like one of those weird situations where it just all kind of boom, boom, boom. But we dated for a month, like we hung out. No, so we hung out for like a couple of times, and then there was another girl that he was talking to that was from New Jersey that he had met. But he told me the first like few times that we hung out, he was like, I just want to be friends. I just moved here and I just want to like find some friends. And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So we like went to go see a movie, and I think hung out one other time. And then this girl came out to visit him for a week. And apparently she was such a nightmare that he was like, I thought about you the whole time. And so he messaged me after she left and was like, can I please take you out? And he wanted it to be like a date. So the way he phrased it was, can I please take you out? So I said, yeah, sure. Why not? And then it's just, we hung out for a month and we dated for a month and we, did stuff and got to know each other. And then we didn't like plan it that way. It's just like, we didn't plan a specific amount of time. It's just one night I stayed over and we ended up having sex. And then, God, I want to say not long after that, we're like, let's make this a thing. Even though at that point we already I had been seeing one other guy before that and I stopped seeing him when I started seeing Nick. And then at 3 months we moved in together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty though. Yeah, but it's 90 days. So you're really technically, even though you think you're moving fast, you're technically, it's like a job or insurance, 90 days. You gave it 90 days. to see.
I inhaled
It really
this.
is. It's like insurance. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
For you guys to figure it out. I don't think that's too fast. I mean, my parents also moved in 3 months together and got engaged after 3 months.
Are they still together?
Later.
42. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, they almost want to kill each other. I don't know how they ended up in jail, but no, they're still together.
That's every relationship that's been together longer than 5 years.
Right. And I'm the one here wanting one so badly. Meanwhile, my mom and my sister are like, you should wait, because even when you find the one, you're going to still get annoyed and it's still going to be work, and right? Like, that's just the nature of the beast.
It's absolutely work. There are days when we want to murder each other. The love's always there, but it's absolutely a choice. And there are 100% days where I'm just like, get the fuck out of the house. And he's the same way with me. Like, time apart is good. Having your own separate friends is good. But it's also great that we have so much in common and we genuinely enjoy doing stuff together, because that's also important. Because let me tell you another thing. That spark where you guys want to bang 6 or 7 times a day, yeah, that also goes away. Like, that doesn't, of course, that doesn't stick around forever. Like, I still love having sex with him. Like, I feel like he's like listening in the background. And I'm still attracted to him, but like that initial, like where you want to bang like rabbits all day, all the time, after about 5 or 6 years, that it does start to fade a little bit. Like, that doesn't stay forever.
Normal. That gives me hope, because I feel like sometimes we're also so quick to break up with our partners if we're not having that that constant physical intimacy. Is he in the industry? Does he support what?
Oh, he's like the most supportive of everything I do. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was a radio producer for a lot of years.
Oh, wow. So that he gets it. Because I was gonna say too, back to the girl from Ukraine. To me, that also, like you said, was a red flag of it could be abuse later on. You know, it's like if somebody feels so comfortable to even physically kick you, I know you want to push that. And Europeans, I guess she probably doesn't think it's a big deal, because I don't know about her, but just growing up in not America, or just with not, immigrant parents or whatnot, you don't think it's such a big deal. And that's the problem. It's like you let things slide.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you're absolutely right. He was way too comfortable doing that, which means I guarantee you that there could be further abuse coming. God, I have to stop coughing. Why did I inhale that? All right, so moving on from that one. The next one we have, a friend and I were talking about our sex life, and I mentioned that when I know my husband finds someone hot, I will role play as her when we have sex. Good for you. I tell him he can call me her name and F her harder, make her your slut. Get a bit rough with me. It's fun and exciting. I love it. My friend said that doing this with him is going to make him disrespect me and that no man wants that from a wife. They also said I'm devaluing myself. I disagree, but it got inside my head, so I haven't done it since. What do you all think? Oh my God, I hate those people.
I mean, should I start, or do you want to start?
Go for it. Yeah, I liked that sigh. Get into it.
Yeah, I feel like, so I don't know, because I see both sides. So I see her side where it's like she's trying to spice it up. And if he's going to think about somebody else anyway, why not bring it into the bedroom, like role playing? That's like a way of just not being jealous and possessive and spicing it up. On the other hand, I've been through this too, where yeah, in the beginning, it's like he respects you, and all of a sudden, it's going downhill. Almost like the disrespect, you can feel it because you're no longer the person he wants you to be. See, that's again with guys. They categorize way too much. They think they're such chill people, but a lot of them are just, I feel, very dramatic in a weird way. They're just making something out of a molehill. I don't think she should think too much into it.
No, I think
she should have a conversation with him about it, maybe.
Yeah, she's that worried about it, but I'm with Alexander the Great in the chat. He said all her friends are single. Yeah, if this is coming from a single person,
oh yeah,
which it probably is, like, A, shut the hell up, and B, that's not your relationship.
Right.
That's not.
And us, yeah. Sorry, go on. Yeah,
no, it's just that's not your place. And if you're with a guy that's going to devalue you for whatever specific kinks you have, and also the fact that she does this and she loves it, like, she's a fucking grade A wife. Good for her. Like, that's amazing.
Good for her. Yeah. And that's another thing. Exactly. I agree. You have to know who you are and be proud of what you are, no matter what the guy thinks. And yes, us single people don't know what the hell we're saying. And because if we did, we wouldn't be single. And I think we're more cautious than married people because we want to get into a relationship. So we think we need to do all the play by the rules in order to, avoid it. Right. You should be asking someone like you or a married friend, really, is this something I should continue? Now, is he into it or we don't know? Is he like into
She didn't say anything about that. So that's the part that we don't know. The fact that he's doing that I would imagine that he's probably into it.
Right, like because I did try to do this. Okay, exclusive. I tried to do this with an ex. Thought I was insane. He's like, "How could you? No, I'm not doing this with you." And I'm like, if you're gonna do it anyway. And then later on, I find out that he does like it. It's just I don't think a man can do it with a girl that you're in a relationship with. I don't know. It depends on the man. I think.
I think it depends on the man. I think it depends heavily on the man, and I think that. At the end of the day, I wouldn't want to be with someone who disrespected or felt like he could disrespect me or felt like he doesn't take me seriously or anything like that over something, you know what I mean? Like over something in the bedroom. Like I want to be able to tell the person that I'm with that I want him to pee on me, and whether or not he'll do it is fine. Like if you're not comfortable doing it or you don't want to do it, that's fine. But I want to be able to tell you that that's what I want and have you not judge me. Like get out of here with that. Like that's the only type of person I want to be with.
So I'm meant to that because I think we should all strive to be with that person. Give me just 1 second. I'm just putting in my bag.
Yeah. Take your time. No worries. I'll read a couple things in the chat because I agree with some of these people here. Blue Stroll said it wasn't a problem till her friend got in her ear. Yeah, absolutely. Even if you write a different girl's name on the fleshlight, it's still the original fleshlight. Yeah, it's still your wife that you're banging. She's just doing a fun role-playing thing. Haler also said she needs new friends. Outlaw 2 said, sounds like for this couple, they enjoy it together. So I don't see what the issue is here. I feel like... Go ahead.
I was going to say, how many married couples also married... How many wives would even agree to doing this? So
exactly.
The fact that he has someone to do this with is almost like gold or hitting the jackpot. I do understand sometimes where her friends can be like, if she keeps doing it, it's like she should also be able to just be herself in the bedroom. So if she keeps doing it, it might just... Men are very influenced, you can...
Maybe.
It's tough. I mean, but this is why I'm still single,
But at the same time, she really loves it. So like she said in the post, she's like, I love it. So it's like, if you really love it, do it. Like what, if you love it and he loves it, who cares what your friends think? Are you sleeping with your friend? No.
And also, I love what you said. This is why I love you so much because, I really am inspired by you. I think every woman should be this way. I want a partner that loves me for me. So whatever I do, because I used to be embarrassed also, like when I do my stand-up comedy, if my ex didn't agree with it or my exes, no, you got to be who you are. If I love something in the bedroom, I shouldn't have to feel judged or shame when I see that person again. These are things that I think you're changing for the generation where, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people are scared to admit that out loud. And I think you're right.
I think you might be right too, a little bit, that people are scared to admit it out loud because I think at the end of the day, everybody's kind of scared of being judged. And so am I. I think everyone is. Like no one wants to be judged. That's not a nice feeling. But at the same time, eventually you just kind of have to let some of that go, because the people that aren't meant for you aren't going to like you, and that's fine. Then they're not meant for you. They're not meant to be in your life. And that's, I'm getting to a point where I'm okay with that. Like if someone's gonna be like, oh, I don't like you for this reason, I'm like, all right, off you go then.
Yeah, you're right. I'm also trying. Yeah, I'm in major therapy trying to get to that point. Like, I don't care, what you think or if you're rejecting me, because you're not my person.
Yeah, exactly. You're not my person. All right, Jay, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm far too insane to get fat, all right? Look, that's... I'm fucking nuts. But that's my own issue. But yeah, I think I agree that this chick is, don't worry about what your friends say. I think that's, you're doing fine. You like it, your husband likes it, keep going.
And have a conversation with your husband, since it is your husband.
Yeah.
At some point, if it is a situation, I think you have it directly with your husband. That's where we go wrong. We tell our friends too much when we're in relationships. It's like, you're right. Why are we listening to our friends sometimes?
Yeah.
We should be talking to the direct source.
And it's
if you and Nick had an issue, would you really go to you would want to talk to him first so that things are clear and you can work on them and there's no outside noise. Exactly.
Yeah. And if you do have an issue with with your partner and you want to talk to your, here's where I think it's okay. If you're talking to a close friend as a sounding board, but you have to be careful, because if you tell them too much, then they might judge your partner harshly because it's coming from your point of view. And I get wanting to vent, but at the same time, it's not necessarily, if you have a really good trusted friend that kind of knows you both well and can be like, look, I'm not coming from a judgmental way, but maybe these are the things that you should talk to him about. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. It's good to talk to your friends, but I agree 100%. You should be talking to your partner. Yeah. Like always. All right, we're moving on. This is a 15-year-old female. I live with my dad full-time, she says. My dad and his girlfriend have been together since Christmas, so she stays over a lot. I don't have a problem with her, but I don't like hearing them bang every time she stays over. Oh, that sucks. It happens.
15 years old.
Have I heard? It happens every time, and I've tried talking to my dad about it, but he doesn't believe I can hear it and says I'm just hearing things. I told him it makes me feel gross and disgusted, in which he told me that those words offended him and that I should be happy for him in his relationship. I'm not allowed to sleep with my door closed. My dog needs to be able to get through the dog door. And he said I'm not allowed to use headphones, and he says that I'm being stupid asking for some. He banned me from using them after I was getting frequent migraines, and he blamed it on my use of headphones. I'm out of ideas and have no clue what to do. I bring it up in private every morning after with him, but he just blows me off and ignores it. What do I do next? I honestly can't think of anything else, and I'm sick and tired of it. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, no.
Girl, you got to do sleepovers. She's got to do action. That's the thing, is if your parents are ignoring it and doing that, you got to take action for yourself and, again, protect yourself. Almost she's got to parent herself and be like, you know what? She's coming over tonight. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm at a friend's house where I can use my headphones, where I can get peace, where I can sleep, right?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That's brutal.
That's weird. It's weird that the dad won't let her have headphones and makes her essentially listen. I feel like my dad would have been mortified and would have been like, oh no, that's not something you ever want your kids to hear. And then you'd be like, we need to keep it down. He sounds like a selfish dickhead.
Yeah, or I don't want to say this, but almost getting off on the fact that his daughter's listening in to him having sex with his significant other, which is another.
That's what I thought.
Oh, God. I know. I don't know.
No, that's exactly what I thought in my head. That's exactly, I was like, it seems like he's getting off on it because A, he's being completely dismissive of it. I feel like if your daughter comes to you with this, and B, he sounds like a creep, and B, he is not letting her find ways to try to drown it out. That's gross.
I know. Unless he's in denial. Because I know that but how in denial can you be?
Exactly.
Right, it's a selfish thing. Which is why she needs to take action and really, for herself, I think, be like, I'm going to go sleep at a friend's house, or even ask him for money for a hotel or a motel. I'm not even kidding. Even he might not do that.
He
but
probably
just be
wouldn't.
Hey,
but because she's 15. But you're right. You could still be like, or Darth Fernando in the chat just says, call the cops. I love that. Like,
that would be my mom's. It's always calling the cops. I know. It's so hard though. By the way, it's not easy to just call the cops. Meaning, it's an easy thought, but when you really do it, you almost like regret it. Because what are the cops gonna do? I mean, because technically the system, they can't really arrest him. Or
right.
Oh, well, maybe because she's 15.
Maybe. I have a daughter and I would want to walk in front of a bus. That's terrible, says Hippopotamus. Yeah, that's awful. Like, can you imagine your kid hearing that? Yeah, I agree. It sounds like he's like into it in some sort of weird way. I don't know, man. I would see if you can figure out a way to live with your mom if that's an option maybe, or spend more time there. The fact that you live with your dad full time leads me to believe that the mom is really dropped the ball bad, because I will say that the system typically is in favor of the mom in most situations. So anytime I hear about a dad getting full custody, I'm like, oh God, how bad is the mom? Like, how bad is it that they were like, no?
Which even makes it more traumatizing for this poor 15-year-old, because she's probably in class, like doesn't sleep, like thinking about it. I mean, sex is, when you're 15, you don't even know about sex really, and you're exposed to it in your own house. That could be really
from a parent.
So I would say a friend, or yes, the police, like something to threaten him, to like nudge him to be like, listen, this isn't cool. You got to stop, because I'm not going to listen to this.
Yeah, I agree. I think she should make a big deal out of it. Just mimic the noises back to him. That will fix it. My self-indulgence. That's hilarious.
Unless he's turned on by that, which is like another conversation.
Oh,
but
God, that'd be a whole other thing. A few people in the chat also said just blast your music really loud, like out the door.
Yeah, that's
turn something
really a good
on.
idea.
Tenacious D, fuck her softly. Is that what the song was? Oh my God. Jay, why do I let you talk in my chat? Why do we let you be here? He just says, I jerked off watching the silhouette of my mom on the wall with her BF getting railed. ... True story. This explains so much about you as a person. Why did I read that? I'm like,
or she could do this, which I probably would, which is not, but I shouldn't say this. Like, she should bring a guy home. Doesn't have to have sex with him, but like they said, imitate it just to see how he would feel about it. Because sometimes when you mimic or mirror, it's like teaching them a lesson. But I don't know. That's also very, very. She seems like a good girl. She doesn't seem like she's gonna bring back. She seems like she's bringing back Kit Kats, and she just wants to do her homework. She doesn't seem like she's bringing back a guy.
I just want to sleep and eat candy, Dad. Old Nerdy in the chat said this is the kind of girl that grows up to call guys daddy. Oh no!
Yes.
This is like daddy issues times 1,000. Oh God, yeah.
I will be surprised if she does not have daddy issues later on.
She's gonna, right? Like, there's no way that she's making it through this world without them. Oh,
yeah,
poor
unless
thing.
she decides to, or also go to, no harm in seeing a therapist, but the parents still have to sign consent, right? When you're under 18.
Right, I would think so.
Like if she said, Dad, I want to go to therapy, and maybe talk to the therapist to really help her also navigate it.
Yeah,
that could be an option.
And then I feel like if she maybe if she did say something to an adult, they would have an obligation to tell the authorities, because that has to be some sort of a level of abuse. Like, it has to.
Of course it is. Yeah, 100%. It's mental or emotional. But also, I realized even when I was at home, there was things that were chaotic when I was growing up at 15. And I remember I would show action with my parents by leaving the house for a little bit where they didn't know where I was going. So it would scare them. Then they would reflect, and then we would have a conversation, and then it would help. So that could also help if she shows action. And I'm not saying run away. I'm just saying go to a friend's house for a little bit. Ask a friend, a cousin. Someone else that you feel comfortable that you could just spend 2 days. 2 days. 2 days can be a lot for a father to be like, oh my God, maybe I am doing something wrong. Also with men, I've realized instead of overly communicating, actually making an action will make them reflect and come around and be like, you know what, sweetie, I think I was a little screwed up with what I did, and we're gonna take it down.
Yeah, maybe that's definitely possible if she goes to some, and it's not even really an extreme, but you're right, like leaving for a weekend or something like that. Healer just says meth is the answer.
I would become such a meth addict. Now I know why. I would become such a drug addict because I'd want to numb myself. But no, do not do that.
No, don't do that. If my sister has taught us any lesson, it's don't do meth to numb feelings, okay? Outlaw 2 said, yeah, knocking on the door every time tells dad she can hear it. He can't claim ignorance if he's being made aware and it's ruining the experience. That's a good point. If she just goes up and she's like, I can hear you in there. Like, what a way to ruin it.
Right, that is a good point. Yes.
Or mindless self-indulgence says, what if she goes to the girlfriend instead? Maybe. Although I feel like if the girlfriend's over there having loud, like, I don't know, man. If I was dating a guy with a kid and I was going over there and we were doing stuff, I would go out of my way to be as quiet as possible so that their kid doesn't hear me, because that would be horrible.
I also think sometimes as adults, like when we get lost in the moment, we think that these younger kids aren't listening or they're just engaged in their own thing. And I think it's more, being selfish and not realizing their needs. Mm-hmm. I also feel like if I was the girlfriend and the child talked to me, I would be heartfelt. I would probably talk to my boyfriend and be like, listen, we can't do this to your child anymore. Like,
yeah.
She's obviously upset.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Doesn't the girlfriend want to be liked by the daughter?
You would think so. Hopefully she's one of those girlfriends that's like, I want your kid to like me. Otherwise, you just suck. Otherwise, I think you're terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
Moving on. Uh-oh. All right. Hi. As the title states, is my question. Why does my girlfriend always shave her vagina before she goes out with the girls? She always keeps well shaved down there, but every time she goes to the nightclub with her friends, she always takes the time to shave before she goes and always gets me thinking. It might be nothing, but I thought I would ask. Do you think that's anything?
Well, the question is she coming home to him and are they hooking up? Because maybe she's doing it so that when she comes home, she's freshly,
shaved. She's all horned up.
Shaved for him.
And she's like, hey, baby.
I know I've done that when I gone to the club, but I come back to my man and I'm like, it's because I want to be ready already. I don't want to feel like I have to go into the shower and shave and.
Okay, yeah.
What is she getting eaten out at the club? That's on a crazier level because
that's like, you maybe need to look
who's going
at
to
your
get
girl.
random strangers to her out of the club unless she's meeting she's like, yeah, free for all, unless she's meeting a guy to understand his concerns there at the club. Question is she coming home to him?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I want to know what their sex life is like. People in the chat are already saying, if you have to ask, you already know the answer. She's cheating. She's getting lucky in the restroom. Maybe. I've never been a club girl, so that's a tough one.
Okay, I have been, and I still am. Let me tell you.
Okay.
It's very hard, even at the hottest clubs or like the biggest clubs. It's kind of hard to be like physical and intimate, even in a bathroom, because think about it. You have a line of women knocking on the door trying to get in. Mm-hmm. Or men. You have, I don't know, music. I mean, it is a fun, kind of cool experience once in a while, but I don't know if she's doing it every time. Or is she lying and saying she's going to the club with her girls and she's really going to see another guy?
That could be it. That could be. If that's what it is, then yeah, she's cheating on you, bro. That's a really weird. This is such a weird one because it's just, I shave regularly, but not specifically before any event or like anything that I do. I just, when it grows out, I shave again. I don't know. Does it?
Well, for me, when I used to go to clubs, I remember like when my ex would be at the house waiting for me or after a comedy set, I feel like I would do it before because I knew when I would come back, it'd be midnight or 1 a.m. and I wouldn't want to do it. And I know that like sometimes you just want to get into bed and do it and you're embarrassed. You want to make sure you're clean. There is that. But if she's doing it continuously and she's not coming back and having sex with him and she's not, then it could be, that she's meeting somebody else but saying that she's going out with her guys, which is crazy.
Maybe. Douglas makes a good point. People have cars. Yeah, I guess they could be banging in the car at the club. Put a tracker in her bra. CMDR Classified says she needs to make her slobber pocket good for the club. She's trying to be fresh while she's out, man.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it does seem like it could be a little bit of a red flag that it's every time she goes out to the club specifically. That's a little bit weird.
Well, also, I feel like it could be also confidence things for some women. I don't know about you, but sometimes you feel like sweaty and like, I don't know, you want to feel the cleanest as much as possible. So when you go to a club, you feel good about yourself. But again, like you said, we don't know about their relationship. Why is she trying to feel?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Confident.
That's true. Old Nerdy says there's not enough information in this question. As written, I'd say there's no issue, but depending on other variables, it could be bad. I agree. I think like we don't know enough. If there are other red flags with it, I feel like he needs to sit down and look at other red flags. Is she shady about her phone? Is she like constantly texting and talking to people where she's trying to hide stuff?
I would do what you say. Next time, put a tracker in her.
Yeah,
on her
put
phone.
tracker on her bra. Figure it out. Yeah, maybe it's just a habit from when she was single. Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a very tough one. I don't know.
I mean, you should be always shaving your cooch just for yourself and for another man or
Always.
But
I like to keep it smooth down there. It just feels good. I don't want. And when hair grows out, it starts to get itchy, and it's like, ugh, I don't like it.
yeah, I think also right for yourself, whether you're gonna hook up with Nick or not. Don't you feel like for yourself, you want to feel like good?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Always down. I don't know.
I shave my legs literally every single day, and not for any other reason except that I like the way it feels, and I can't handle when I get a little stubbly. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
The next one is kind of a long one.
Okay.
This is interesting. I've heard of this happening, by the way. You'll have to let me know if you've ever experienced this or heard about this, because this is a weird one. I got off birth control, and I'm starting to not find my boyfriend attractive. I'm a 19-year-old female. My boyfriend is a 20-year-old male. I decided I should get off the pill. It started decreasing my eyesight, causing anxiety, depression, etc. I was nervous because of all the horror stories, but did it anyways. But now, I've been off it for about a week, and things are already changing. I'm not feeling as anxious and stressed. I'm not really depressed either. However, I can't even get in the mood for my boyfriend and I to have intimate time. It's always been an issue. I can never get in the mood, ever. It's rare. Even then, sex makes me nervous, and I can't continue to be lubricated by myself. We tried lubricant, but I'd have to wait 3 days until we could go again because it would tear me up down there. I don't know if it was friction or whatever. We switched lubricants and it's been fine, but since I've gotten off the pill, we've had to use other protection, which now we use even more lube. I don't really want to have sex with him. It could be I've been around him too much. I enjoy spending time with him, but his explosive emotions make it draining. If one thing goes wrong, he kind of explodes, hitting his phone. He broke the back glass, hitting his car wheel drive, sobbing uncontrollably, which I'm okay with, etc. He has very big emotions. He talks a lot about how he's worthless and no one cares for him and he's going to kill himself. I'm scared for him. Oh boy, there's so much more here than I thought. I enjoy deep, intimate moments just like being around each other, but I can't find it in me to want to have sex with him. I don't really find him attractive anymore. I don't know what's going on. I want to love him, but I think it's too much. What can I do? Girl, get the hell out of there. That's my advice. You're young. You're already not attracted to him. The fact that those explosive episodes, it sounds like he's dealing with severe depression. You can't save him, and it's not your job to. You need to get the hell out of there because this is only going to get worse. And I know you're scared for him, but also I've heard that when you get off birth control, like birth control can make you be attracted to men you wouldn't normally be attracted to.
Because the hormones, like this happened to me where I was on and off, and then when I'm off, I felt the same way she did, but I don't want her to make excuses because like you said, she's 19, she's probably, you know, you're hot, you're the youngest years, your best years, you get out of this because this explosive behavior, first of all, this explosive behavior still turns me on, so that's how you know she gets out of it.
Yeah.
Because the fact that she's turned off, she already loves herself, and that's amazing because it's not going to get any better.
Yeah. No, it's going to get worse.
Where you're getting off birth control and you're not like attracted to this person that you've been sharing like intimacy with, and all of a sudden you're like attracted to someone else, or it might even take her a while to get back into it. And you know, birth control really can fuck you up. It could screw you up with anxiety and feeling you're gonna get pregnant or not. It's all these mixed emotions.
Birth control fucked me up bad. I haven't been on it in a long time. It messed me up really bad. It caused severe depression. No, it's okay. Severe anxiety and depression where I was like, holy shit, I got scared. And for a while, I didn't have any issues with it. Like I was on birth control, no problem. And it was after like one particularly bad breakup where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be single for a while. I wasn't dating anyone. I wasn't seeing anyone. I wasn't sleeping with anyone. So I just got off birth control. And it was fine. Like I didn't notice any difference being on it for the first time from like 16 to 21. And then I got off of it. And it wasn't until I met Nick that I tried to go back on it again. And that's when it like messed me up really bad. And I was like, because we started sleeping together, and I was like, you know what, just to be on the safe side, let me go back on birth control. I don't want to get pregnant. I don't want to have kids. So I went back, and it messed me up so bad. And it took me a little while to realize what was going on. And as soon as I took it out, because I was using the NuvaRing, as soon as I took it out, everything cleared up again. And I was like, whoa, because it was scary. Like, it was scary, bad depression and no issues. And once I figured out like my cycle and when I ovulate and everything, and you work around that, because you're really only fertile like a few days out of the month.
We forget that.
Mm-hmm. And so once I started tracking my cycle, 0 issues.
And that's with or without a condom. Well, also because you're married, you're lucky that it's
no
one
condoms.
person. And you're not scared. You're not nervous. You're not that you're going to get right.
Haven't had a
you
scare.
Know your cycle.
Yeah.
Gotta tell you, when I was off birth control for a long time, I felt better too.
Yeah.
Just felt better. And now I don't know, and shouldn't be on it because I'm single. But sometimes when you're single, I feel not promiscuous, but you know how like one thing leads to another, and then you just want to be safe.
Yeah, you're having a good time, and you want to be safe. I get it. I totally get it. It's scary.
I get it.
You don't want to get pregnant, especially from someone that you're not serious with, because Lord, then you got to have them in your life for the rest of your life if you decide to have that kid. Goodness gracious.
That is the word, right? That's my biggest fear. Like my male friend the other day said, he's like, I've never seen someone so scared of being pregnant than you. And it's not that I don't want to have kids. I do. I want to, but with the right person.
Yeah.
Because imagine.
Yeah. No.
I can't even keep a guy who wants to like admit he's with me in public. How the hell am I gonna have a fucking kid with him and be like, hey guy, this is your son, Pablo. Yeah, Pablo's our son. Okay.
I love that you're gonna name your kid Pablo.
I love that. Or Dylan. I love the name Dylan. But it's just, you're right. You gotta be careful. I mean, you gotta really.
No, you do. You have to be very careful. And like, I don't want kids at all. So I'm in a slightly different situation where like, I am with a person that if I was to have a kid, it would probably be okay. But I don't want that. That was a conversation that we had in the beginning. I was like, look, I don't want kids. And he was like, good, neither do I. And I was like, thank God.
Good. Okay, so you're on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page with that one. And thankfully, because people sometimes change their mind as they get older. More often than not, it's the woman, but sometimes the man does too. Thankfully, neither of us have changed our mind. People always told me I was going to. They're always like, you're going to change your mind. You're going to change your mind. And I just never did. And I don't know what it is. I just don't have that feeling inside of me. Babies do nothing for me. I don't see a kid and I'm like, oh, I need a baby. Like I see kids and I'm like, oh my God, get that little crotch goblin away from me. It's covered in snot. So like that's
like I feel like I feel the same way with them. Like, oh, like the crying. I can't, the crying.
They don't stop. When it's yours, they don't stop crying.
Right. And then it's like your career's ruined. No.
Your career, your body. No, look, I feel like parenthood is, some people are really, really suited for it. And I think some people really, really want to do it. And I think that's fantastic for my best friend and I, she's like one of my favorite humans in the entire world. We're polar opposites. And that way where I wanted to go off and do my thing and I moved to the mainland and now I'm doing this and I'm really happy. And I just don't want a family like that. But she all she ever wanted was to have a family. She's like, I just want to get married. I want to live somewhere on a farm with or not like a farm, but she's like, I want to live somewhere where I can garden with a dog on my front porch. And that's all she ever wanted. And she just got married and she just had a kid and she's super happy. But she also told me, she's so funny, I love her. She's like, women are doing a disservice by pretending like this isn't hard as fuck. She's like, this is so hard. She's like, if you don't think you really, really, really want kids, do not do it. She's like, I really, really, really wanted a kid. And I'm still sometimes unsure if I should have done this. Like, she's happy, but she acknowledges that it's one of the hardest things she's ever had to do. It's like, that's your life now. And I think for some people that's fantastic. But I think for other people, maybe not so much.
And paint that vision even for this 19-year-old. Holy shit, that's why she should get out now, because imagine you have a baby with a guy like this. You are going to hate your life, you're going to hate your baby, and you're going to hate him, and God forbid you don't end up in jail calling us from there. Because this is triggering, you know what I mean? Like, how much can you take as a woman on hormones too? It's not about stereotyping, it's a real thing that we don't talk about. you have to be superwoman all the time.
No, there are hormone times all the time, and my body gets flooded with absolute nonsense, and I'm like, hey, stop being a real asshole. But it's like, no, I'm not. You're gonna feel terrible for no reason. Have fun, bitch. And I'm like, fuck, thanks. Oh, hippopotamus.
Like yesterday, I just started crying, and my mom, she has this strong accent. She's a Jewish woman from Colombia originally, but then from Queens. She goes, what are you crying about all the time? You're just crying. You're crying. I'm like, it's the fucking birth control. She's like, then get off it and get married already. Like, it's that easy. Like,
you're like, yeah, I'll just go out.
I've been doing it for so long. I still can't fucking find him. It's crazy.
Are you on dating apps? Like, do you actively date right now?
I'm actively dating. I'm on dating apps. I'm on Hinge. I'm on, I won't do Tinder because I feel like it's more of a hookup app and it's not what I'm looking for.
I heard that. I heard that it's like a major hookup app, which to me is hilarious.
There's also a lot of serial killers on there, or potential.
Good.
Yeah,
that
so it's
fun.
It's not fun to, and a lot of people are very like comment over. I don't know. Dating in general is just, it's a business and it's a job. It's a full-time job. So I haven't found anyone yet.
I get that. Yeah, dating's a lot of work. It's like you got to get ready, you got to go out, you got to make sure you look good. You multiple times a week. It's a lot. That's a lot.
Like you got to make sure you care or pretend to care about putting your best foot forward. You're, pressing the guy. It's a lot of work. And then he ghosts you after the first day when you're like, I didn't even really like you. And then you think, oh, maybe I like this person. It's such a mind fuck.
That's why you think you like him, because he ghosted you. He's fucking with your brain. He's either doing it on purpose or he doesn't know he's doing it. But either way, so interesting that Tinder might be a hookup app, because that's where I met Nick. That's where the best friend that I was just talking about, she met her husband on Tinder as well.
But you met them a long time ago, right? I feel like it just started becoming more of.
Yeah, maybe it is. I know she met her husband like 2 years ago, or maybe 3 now.
Okay, but no, that happens too. Like
yeah.
Also, like they say, bagel meets coffee is like but not necessarily. All these apps are meant for if you guys, connect on Tinder or any app. That's awesome. I guess I had bad luck on Tinder. I had really bad luck.
I guess it has to depend on the person. Like, I know people have tried certain apps that there's like, that one just doesn't work for me. Like, it must be. David in the chat says he would like to date you. David said, I'd like to date Chanel.
Oh my God, David. Stop it, really?
David, tell us more about yourself. Is this a love connection?
Yes.
We need
David,
to hear
what
more.
A Jewish name. Are you Jewish?
Butero, is that? I don't know if that's even his real name.
Italian. I love anything.
Give me Italian all day. God, I love them. That's like, I discovered a type I didn't know I had. It's East Coast Italians. Holy shit. I don't know why.
Is that what Nick is?
Yes. He's from Brooklyn.
Okay.
He's Italian.
Oh, of course. I grew up in Brooklyn. So
there
I
you
grew
go.
up with all the Italians.
What part of Brooklyn?
Grew up on Ocean Parkway and Avenue P. It was like Kings Highway, Avenue P area. So I would say it's more not. It's like near Park Slope, but not. It's more like the beginning of Brooklyn.
All right, so I kind of know where you're talking about. He's from Sheepshead Bay, so that's
near Sheepshead Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say 15 minutes from Sheepshead Bay.
All right,
okay.
Nice. I love that part of Brooklyn. I really do. It's really nice. You don't still live in Brooklyn, right? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but my sister does and my cousins do, so I always go there to visit.
What do they have the best bakeries? If that, because that's what's going to be.
The best bakeries, the best movie theater. Sheepshead Bay is like the place to be. They have great bars and great it's great food.
Roll and Roaster.
The
hot guys. Yeah. Don't even get me started. I don't know what it is.
Like my husband.
I don't know what it is. Well, and then once we moved here, I did not realize, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that I just met him and I fell in love with him and I liked him. I thought he was really cute. But once we got here, I noticed every single guy that I'm like, oh, he's super hot or he's super cute or that I find attractive. I almost 90% of the time end up finding that they're from fucking Staten Island or Brooklyn and they're Italian. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand what this type is that I have here, but okay.
How you doing?
I don't know not like Jersey Shore type, but there's just a
Joey
specific
Fatone from Friends, right? Like Joey Fatone.
Yeah, kind of like Joey. From Friends. Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit it's the way they talk. I think it's the accent, that sort of East Coasty Brooklyn-y accent. And then I guess that just Italian look. I don't know what it is. I just love it.
Very cool. They're very chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I like it too.
They're so smooth.
So smooth. Oh my God. Give me a smooth guy with swag any day. I don't.
Oh my God.
It's
Right?
over.
It's a problem.
My best friend the other night was like, you don't go for money. That's a problem. You go for men who are broke with swag. I'm like, hey.
Same.
Hey, that is okay because you can help the guy make money, later on.
Right. Yeah. You can't help a guy become smooth.
Right. Like in my big fat Greek wedding when she's like, the woman turns the neck of the head or the neck of the guy or something like she was saying. There's like this saying where a woman can always make a guy better, drive a guy to be better.
Right.
Make more money or just be more driven. But you can't teach someone how to be cool, right?
No, you can't inject personality or swag into someone. If they either got it or they don't. Like, that's what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about those fucking Italians, though. God, I love them. Okay, I think we have time for one more. Unless this is a short one. Sometimes they're short and you're just like, but then other times they're long and you're like, oh, for the Pete's sake. But so I just found out that my 36-year-old male friend private messaged my wife, 34 female, and complimented her looks behind my back. My wife and I have been together for 10 years and we are very happy. I trust her and we have never cheated on each other. Recently, she brought to my attention that my friend privately messaged her behind my back on social media, complimenting her on her looks. I'm mad he did this behind my back, but I'm not sure how to proceed. I feel extremely disrespected and I feel like I should confront him. But on the other hand, I think maybe just let it be, and now I've seen his true colors. Not really sure how to navigate this. Edit, I didn't find this through snooping through my wife's phone. She told me this happened. All right, so she's being open and she's being honest. That's why you trust her and you guys have never cheated. That's great. That's a good sign that your relationship is solid. It sounds like your friend sucks, though. Damn.
Yeah, and that is a hell to no. I mean, get rid of that friend real quick before he tries to ruin your marriage. If your marriage and your relationship is so sacred to you, this is what happened with me and my ex. But you both have to be on the same page. So this is what I like about this guy, that he said, well, we both never cheated on each other. We both told each other. She told me, seems like if they have each other's back, they need to push this friend away before this friend takes over.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And that is not cool what his friend did. You not private message the wife like you're trying to, like, what the fuck is that about? Go get another girl.
Yeah, no, that's like super creepy and weird. If Nick's friends ever did that to me, he would call him out. I would say this. I know exactly what Nick would do if in this situation. He would call them out immediately and be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what is, like, why the fuck would you message my wife
that?
I
respect that. I respect that.
Yeah. I'm everybody in the chat is saying too, like, call him out, punch him. He's not a friend. Fuck that guy. Like, yeah, absolutely. That guy's garbage.
Or he can message him and say, yo, bro, like, I'm just letting you know, my wife let me know. So he's aware of everything because this guy thinks he's slick and sneaky, so he should say, listen, I want to let you know my wife let me know about what you did. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Regardless of it, I felt disrespected and I just need to let you know I need some distance because it's not cool. Yeah, he should say to him, it's not cool. You got to let people know it's not cool. However, in my experience, when I always let people know it's not cool, I felt like a lot of people went against me and retaliated against me, but that's probably because I didn't have a good relationship with that person. So everyone in there, so this happened to me with my ex, where a couple of women disrespected our relationship. And they didn't care. And you know why? Because it was coming from him. He wasn't putting his foot down. He wasn't.
Yep.
So every time I would say something, it was like, Chanel's crazy. Chanel's insecure. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm telling you, first of all, in a very calm, mature way, hey, this isn't cool. It's disrespectful to him, to me, to us. They would just laugh about it. But then I realized, because he's not doing what this guy's wife's doing, like coming to me, talking to me about it, explaining it.
Yeah.
So I understand where this guy is coming from, that he doesn't want to say anything, but I do think he should.
Yeah, I absolutely think he should say something about it. I'm actually kind of more with some of the people in the chat saying that it would not be a friendly conversation. But
No, it wouldn't. I know. You have to be right. You have to be ready for confrontation. Like, it seems like Nick is like okay with that, and he's like, I wish I was that adamant and not caring if people told me that
fine with confrontation.
crazy, you know, because calling people out is okay unless the person's a narcissist, and then that's hard. It's hard to argue with someone like that.
Well, that's the thing. You can't. Narcissists, you can't. You're absolutely right. You can't argue with a narcissist. And if that's someone that is going to be, I feel like those are the people that you need to cut out of your life. You're like, if you're someone that I can't come to and have a conversation with about something, we're fucking done. But this actually reminds me of a story that Nick told me. His ex. Now, this is a girl that he was with before he met me. Here in New York before he moved to LA, because that's where we met. And they were together like off and on for 4 or 5 years or something like that. It wasn't like a great relationship, but they were together for a period of time. They lived together for a while. And his friend, after they broke up, I think, I can't remember one of the times. Nick is probably going to have to correct me on this later, but it was after they broke up one of the times, he was still friends with her on Facebook and talking to her. And Nick was 100% like, absolutely not. What the fuck do you think you're doing? And his friend was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. And he like defriended her and stopped talking to her immediately. And like, that was the end of it.
See, good for Nick, because whether it's during or after, it's not cool. It's a disrespect. And I kept saying that too. Like, now I think about it out loud because I wish, I hope this guy takes our advice, because I wish I said more things. Because I dated someone, and listen, the person I dated, fine, they weren't into me. It's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault. People change their minds. But it does suck when somebody gets everyone against you because you're voicing your opinion to the person you love.
Yeah.
The same situation, and then you get excommunicated from like everyone. And it's like, he was just in my bed last night, and now you think you can hit on him. Again, like the wife, you're right. Somebody has to step up in the relationship to say, like, this isn't cool.
Yeah. And the fact that they're not like that they didn't respect you means that they weren't very good friends. Like, that's like, I'd feel terrible if a friend came to me and was like, you know what, I feel really disrespected by the way that you were. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, first of all, I'd never ever flirt with one of my friends' husbands, boyfriends, or exes. Cause that's like rule number fucking 1 as a friend. But second of all, like if it came across that way, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not mean for it to be like that. Like, I feel terrible that that's how, like, I was maybe being too friendly. That's my bad. If a friend came to me, I'd feel terrible.
See, if I got that response, then I would be even more cool. Like, I'm really not a jealous, like, competitive. Like, I'm really rational about things. But when you're, like, making me feel I have no right, then obviously my man is not my man. And he's telling everyone a very different story than he's telling me. And that's the thing where I feel like most women, just like guys like that, get away with it. Or narcissists in general. Like, yeah. We're with me for a year, but now you're telling all these girls that you want to have sex with, like that, as if they're pretending like you don't know me. So when I would tell my ex, or my ex would tell me about like guys flirting with each other, it wasn't like this situation. This situation seems like they're more of a team, and I think he should confront his friend. She shouldn't, because she has no reason to.
Right.
And he should show his friend that he has a solid foundation and relationship with his woman, and this is not this is not okay. This is not going to be tolerated. But you don't have to say it in a mean way either, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone gets so... I felt like everybody was literally in my relationship but me, and that sucks.
That's a horrible feeling. It's supposed to be you and your partner against the world. Like, that's kind of the whole thing of, like, you want to find a person in this terrible world where you can feel like you have a team. Or the world can be awful, where you can have this partnership in this team and you're, like, really with this person. I feel like that's at least what you hope to find. Old Nerdy, this is hilarious. He said, okay, so what if the husband fights the dude and the dude beats the husband up and then the wife gets attracted to the tougher dude? That could happen.
Which can happen, by the way. Because it could.
It could.
I don't think it seems to me like the wife and him have a very strong foundation. See, I wish I had this.
Yeah, it seems like they're very solid. That is a really good thing. Sizzle Chest says, what if you're Adam 22? Look, did you hear about the whole Adam 22 thing?
So what? No. Who's Adam 22?
Adam 22 is a performer. He's a porn performer, and so is his wife. And they have this podcast, which to me, this is so genius, where they have different porn actresses on, and then they do an interview with them, and then afterwards they go film a scene together. So it's the guy and the 2 girls. So it's the husband and wife team, and they film a scene with another girl, and they have the podcast. So I guess at one point he decided, you know what, I'm going to let my wife now sleep with another guy for a scene. So she did a scene with another guy, which to me, none of this was a big deal. But the internet like freaked out about it and was like, oh my God. Like, first of all, there are a lot of porn stars that are married and in relationships. And like, that is a work thing. That's work, and that's specifically work. And then they have their marriage. Like, that's not uncommon. A lot of porn stars are married. I know porn stars. Most of them are married. And that's just like, this is work and this is my marriage. And they're two separate things. And the fact that he's been sleeping with other women and now she's slept with one other man and people are like losing their mind on the internet. I don't get it. I don't get why anyone cared about this in the slightest. I was like, all right, so that's their arrangement. Like, who gives a shit? What the fuck is the big deal? But for some reason, people like absolutely lost it. And he doubled down and like started getting into fights with people. He said some dumb stuff too, which was like ridiculous. But I don't know. I thought it was stupid.
That's a double standard, right? Because they're getting mad about, and this is what a lot of guys do that, you know. Yeah. They can fuck around or they can, hoe it out. And then we go for one guy or in front of them, or they literally he's giving her permission to do it with another guy and everybody's losing their mind. It was an agreement that they had. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that was such a weird one. That was so dumb.
I don't know if I would be able to let anybody. I'm very I mean, I think this is normal, right? Like, you don't want your man or your woman to be with anyone if you're with them.
think that's more normal, yeah. But
okay, because a lot of people have told me lately it's not. I think those people want to be single, and that's why. It's that simple as that. If you want to be in a committed relationship, it's going to be simple. You're going to commit. If you don't, then you're going to make excuses all the time to the person you don't want to commit to, I guess. I don't.
Mindless self-indulgence. I think the big problem is that he seems like a giant douche nozzle and he gave the internet something to mock. You know what? That's an excellent point. That is an excellent point. No, I do think that it's more common than not for people to feel more possessive of their partner and not want them to sleep with other people. That being said, swinging and open relationships are, I think, a little more common than people think. I think it just depends on the type of person. I think that either way, you got to do what makes you happy. Like, I know people in open relationships and I have zero judgment. I'm like, you do your thing. Like, people get so worked up about what other people do just because they're in an open relationship doesn't mean that then I have to be in one. Like, it's working for you guys. Great. Like, absolutely go for it. People swing, like it's more common than you think. I think especially in older couples because they've been together for a long time and things do get boring. I understand, even though I don't think it's for me, but I get why people do it, and it doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, same. Like, I would tell my ex's friends, I was like, why does it bother you so much that I want to be in a committed relationship with this guy if we like each other, right? Like, what does it bother you?
Yeah.
That's my stance, and I'm not bothering anyone. I'm not harming. I think it was because he wanted to be single, and they probably wanted to protect him and felt that he didn't want, and that's okay, but at least be honest. Like, recently, I was hooking up with a guy, and he told me, listen, Chanel, this isn't personal. I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm actually in an open relationship. But what he did was he gave me the chance to make my choice if I want to continue.
Yes.
That's what we need more of. Yes. Like, I needed him to say, it's not you. It's not because you're not pretty enough or good enough. It's because I'm in something already. I'm screwed up. And right now it's just not even sex. It was like, because we didn't have sex. We were just hooking up, like making out. I'm like, okay, thank you for giving me the choice so that I don't move on if I don't want to. Like, I don't want to be in an open relationship. I want to be in a committed one. So
yeah,
it was fun. And now I have to move on and find someone who will want to commit to me and stay in my basement forever.
You're like, I've got the chains down there already. I've had this for years. I'll feed him.
Feed him those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And then he's going to have sex with me. And then, no, I'm just, it's like, I've been picking the wrong men now that I'm realizing with this advice, but it's good because I've gone through so much that I'm able to. You've
recognized the things that you don't want.
Yeah.
I think you're so right about the honesty thing, though. I think people just need to be honest. Like, don't lie to me and tell me that you want something more when you don't, because chances are if I'm ready to sleep with you, I'm going to sleep with you either way. So just tell me so that I know and I'm not expecting it to be something that it's not.
Right, and I think sometimes women are like, well, if I play a game or I show him that he has to take me to dinner and then we can have sex, he's not changing his mind about being committed to you or not anyway.
No. And also the whole thing, women, this is another thing that women do, and we need to stop doing this because it's real dumb, is we don't believe men when they tell us things. Because sometimes men will tell us either with words or actions that they're not interested. And we're like, I can change him. I'm special. He's going to fall in love with me. Bitch, no, he's not. Like you're just setting yourself up for so much pain. You idiot.
It's like, I have in my bit, like, I won't give it away so much, but it's something similar as to, like, he just told me he hated me, but I know he's secretly obsessed with me. It's like we're just convincing ourselves. I don't know why we do this. It's not self-love. It's masochist. It's like we might as well physically cut ourselves. But you're right. We're also not taking the signs that he might tell you he's into you, the action or lack of. Why don't we pay attention to that?
Yeah.
We keep fighting with them, being like, but you said you were going to take me on a date. He didn't make the date. So why are we keep asking, like, when is that date?
Yeah.
You know, why aren't we just going out with other guys who will do it, or making our own plans, like me having a girls' night with you and actually making that plan if that guy didn't do what he said he was going to do?
Yes.
So I'm not getting disappointed. That's my point.
Exactly. And it kind of goes back to that movie again. He's just not that into you. If he wants to see you, he will make it happen. If he likes you, he will make the effort. You got to look at the signs. Like, if they're not making the effort, they do not like you. So stop thinking they're 100%. Going to. Yeah.
Not. Don't go into my situation where you're in it for so long, you can't see out of it, and then you're really screwed because you kind of become this person of so they kind of can say, like, I've never even dated you. That you don't want to get into a messy situation where you're alone in the relationship. That's my point. You're alone in the relationship.
Absolutely. And you're sitting there like, we're in this great relationship. And the guy's like, I'm totally banging people on the side and I'm not serious about this at all. And you're like, great.
Then you're posting, you're like, we're so happy together. And then, and he's doing that. And you're like, holy shit, I feel so stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, exactly. Trust me, I've been there. I dated this guy off and on for a couple of years, and this guy was the fucking worst. He would like sometimes he would break up with me, and sometimes he'd just straight cheat on me. Like every time he would go home, he'd break up with me because he had like girls at home, and he never wanted to commit, and he never wanted to like let people know that we were together. And I realized I was so young, I was so stupid, and I realized too late that it was because he was seeing other people. Of course, he doesn't want people to know he has a girlfriend, but we lived together. It was bizarre. And you get to an age where you're like,
when you hung out with him in front of people, would he say, this is my girlfriend? Or
well, that was fine because it was in Hawaii, and he would be like, yeah, this is my girlfriend, and we live together, but he wouldn't do anything about it online. And I realized it's because he had girls back home he was still talking to, and that he would see them every time he would go home to visit.
This was exactly like my ex, and I would fight with him saying, I know my gut is right, but fighting with them, there's no point in fighting with them because they're doing what they're doing, and that's the sign to get out. That's what my mistake was. I should have got out earlier than later.
Same, but we all have to go through it and learn that lesson. We all, because like you're young, you don't know. Like I was so retarded, like I was just so dumb, and I was like, I let this happen, but that's how you learn.
Wait, what's my excuse? Because this happened a year ago, and I'm almost 40. Shit, you gotta help me out, girl. This is like,
you know what? You text me the next time with a guy and explain the situation, and I'll be like, you need to leave, or like, no, that's normal. That's normal. That's not totally crazy.
What is normal? Sorry, guys, as I'm like playing with my hair because I just wanted to fix this and it just got caught. But what do you think is normal for a girl for a date? Like, what should we be doing on the first date to keep them hooked, or to like not get into these messy situations where they can change their mind up, or like, you know?
Oh God, I have to be honest with you. For me, it's just being myself. Like, I'm just going to be myself. And if you're not interested, you're not interested. Like, I don't know, man. I guess I got to a point where I was like, especially when I was dating on Tinder and like dating and stuff, if there wasn't some kind of a connection and we didn't want to keep talking, I just let it go. Like, I don't know. If he didn't seem interested,
Smart.
But that turns me off too.
So
like if a guy doesn't put effort into it and doesn't seem like he wants me, I lose interest immediately. Like, I'm done. That kills it for me. Or if I feel like a guy's just trying to get into my pants, and there are so many ways you can tell, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not turned on anymore. I'm not into this unless that's what I want to, but.
Right. So I think I'm starting to be like you more, where I'm getting turned off when they're not making the effort, and being realistic, saying, okay, I know he's not into me. He's not asking me out. There's always another girl when that happens.
Right.
I know what this recent guy explained to me. He's like, yeah, just so you know, it's always somebody else. I'm like, but it's not personal, because either they started with that person before you. Transparency is just easier. It's just, it makes things more simple.
It makes things a lot more simple. And yeah, absolutely. Doing that thing where you like meet someone and you jump right in and you're like, this is the person. I feel like that's also a mistake because you don't know. You have no idea.
And you know what? You know what else we should do as women? I think that we make a mistake. We should decide if we like this person, not if they like us all the time,
exactly.
You know?
And again,
does this person have qualities?
Does this person have qualities? Do I connect with this person? Do I like this person? And I think a lot of stuff that I see online that also kind of freaks me out is what people are like, well, what do you bring to the table? And I understand it to an extent, but at the same time, it's like if all you're looking for is in a person is what they can give you, that's such a weird, selfish way of coming into a relationship. And I think you should be, to an extent, like they should have basic human skills. Like I wouldn't want to be with someone who can't cook or clean or take care of themselves, because that's a huge red flag. Like you should be able to take care of yourself as a freaking human being. That being said, I'm not like, oh, well, what do you bring to the table for me? Like, are you tall enough? Do you have a high enough paying job? Like, Jesus Christ, like that's getting ridiculous when people look at it like that. And I think at the same time, sometimes you can fall in love with someone unexpected. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. You just meet someone and it's there. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
David again says, let Chanel know that I'm 1% Mizrahi. Am I saying that right? Jewish?
Oh, Mizrahi. Yeah,
Mizrahi.
Jewish, Sephardic. Good for you. You just your accent's good. Hebrew.
Ooh, thank you.
Ooh, Mizrahi.
Hey.
That's what I am. That's Sephardic, Jewish. But so my dad's Israeli, Middle Eastern. My mom's Colombian, so we call it Mizrahi, Sephardics, Jews. You know? Okay,
so I think you and David are like meant for each other, because he's also said he's 70% Middle Eastern per my DNA test.
Love it. Where does anywhere in the Middle East I welcome, so that's cool. Love Middle Eastern men, so feel free to hit a girl up. How old are you, David? Just make sure you're not 19, so I'm not going to jail.
I don't think he is. David, look, I feel like you should DM Chanel on Instagram. I'm just throwing it out there. Get in those DMs. Shoot your shot, my guy.
You see, you never know. You never know how you're going to meet men. I think like on your Discord channel and YouTube, we can be meeting men more so going out in the clubs and the bars. Because I think a lot of times we make that mistake too. We're like, we're going to go to the club tonight in the bar and we're going to meet someone. Like, you're not really meeting the right guy there. You're not really meeting.
Exactly. You got to meet someone. Well, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes that does work out too. But at the same time, yeah, I think more often than not, if you meet someone in a more organic way, sometimes it can work better. David, he said he's Armenian and he's 57.
Ooh, perfect age. I love older men. And
all right.
57 is the new 27 and love Armenian. Hello, Kardashians. What?
Oh my God, you guys, we got Chanel on the podcast and we got her a date. This is amazing. David, you better reach out or I'm going to be disappointed.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. You like literally did a mitzvah in Judaism. Because
this is
when you
awesome.
set people up, it's a mitzvah. You're going to heaven.
It's a mitzvah. Yay! Brian in the chat also, hi Brian. Brian said, and this is an excellent point that he makes, and I think that this is something that is talked about a lot online, and I think a lot of it's true. 75% of women want 10% of the men. Because they have, and again, this is not all women, but you see some of these women who are like, he needs to be over 6 feet tall. He needs to make at least $400,000 a year. He needs to drive this certain car. He needs to have, like, she has all these requirements of this, take care of himself. He needs to be muscular. They have all these requirements for these men, which I just find bizarre. First of all, I find that so weird. I think it's okay to have standards. I think it's okay to be like, I don't want to date this guy that's a complete bum. I understand. I get it. You don't want to date someone who's abusive. I think those are the things that you look at more often than not. Like, I'm not looking, if a guy can support himself and take care of himself, that's enough. I don't need you to make $400,000 a year. I don't need you to be 6 feet tall, because I think that's another dumb thing. Like, you're gonna cut out a huge percentage of men that could be wonderful people because they're not tall enough? What?
And also, like, what about kindness and personality and funny? Like, those things matter too.
Yes.
Kind of
Yes.
more than the money, because yeah, okay, money can't buy everything, and money can't make you happy all the time. I understand, like, you want money to have a lifestyle, you want to feel safe, sure, but that's also, both people can be bringing money together. Both people can be doing it together. You don't have to just, yeah, these standards are too, I don't even have those standards.
No, it's
Holy
crazy.
shit.
It's absolutely crazy. Like, it's
It's crazy. The other day, one of my good friends, she was like, I won't go. She said the same criteria. She's like, I won't. I said, you won't go for anything less? She goes, hell no. I go, why? She's like, because I've been through it. Men who just have swag and don't have the standards, and I think because they end up getting hurt by it, so it's a defense mechanism. That's my opinion.
Defense. I think you're right. I think it's a defense mechanism, but I think that you're 100% spot on with looking at things like, are they kind? How do they treat me? Do they make me laugh? And being attracted to them is important. I'm not saying it's not. Like, you should be attracted to the person, but all of those things matter so much more than the height of someone and how much money they make or what kind of car they drive. Like, I don't care what kind of car you drive.
Right. See, all that stuff you mentioned, that's what makes me attracted physically to a guy. It's not about being physically handsome,
right?
Either.
It's those other things.
Yeah, that stimulates you more. Being smart, having a conversation, intellectual one, or just having interests. It's all important.
Yes, that's another thing. Having interests. Like, do you have hobbies? Do you have things that you're interested in doing? Blue Stroll in the chat. Poor Blue Stroll. One of my mods, I love him. He said, oh, it's brutal out there, Zia. You have no idea, LOL. And I'm not even short. Poor Blue Stroll. Oh, no.
Oh, no, Blue Stroll.
These
hard.
Women, it is. And men,
I mean,
people.
I gotta tell you, Zia, it's like hard, but it's hard for women too, just so men don't feel alone. Like, it is hard for women. I don't think women talk about it as much, or I think there's more, there's more pride in it. We feel so rejected sometimes by men, but we also not realizing that men feel rejected by us as well. So we need to have that happy medium or balance,
Yeah, I agree. It's tough. I wish there was more kindness in the world. I wish people were just a lot kinder to each other. And part of being kind can just be, you know what? I don't think you're bad, but I think you're a really wonderful person, but I'm not interested in you like that.
There you go.
That's kindness.
That's so much easier to take. Yes, that's so much easier. That's an easier rejection to take than, oh my God, you're not 6 feet and you're not model and you don't have a nose job, so I don't like you. It's
I don't like
why
you.
So superficial.
You drive a Toyota. Like, yeah, Toyota gets you from A to B. Yeah, exactly. Like, goddamn, I never look at a car, the kind of car a guy drives. Also, because to me, spending $700 to $1,000 a month on a car payment is stupid anyway. Unless you have so much money that's not a big deal. But some people spend money that they don't have just to drive a nice car around so that they're, not judged, which I just find bizarre.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Or men sometimes are like superficial. I feel like there's so many things guys have told me in the past, but it has to matter about personality. I got to be with someone with personality because I can't keep up with this whole Barbie like image because that's not who I am and I'm never going to be that, even though I wish I was that. So why lie or why pretend I'm someone I'm not,
Absolutely. No, absolutely. If you're like, this is not me, I'm not the type of person that's going to be freaking like insanely into appearances and like, constantly making myself made up and dolled up and wearing heels, then why would you, try to keep that up for appearances just to realize that you can't? Yeah, impress the guy. Exactly. Hey, we got a super chat. James T, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Welcome to the stream. He said, I had a date recently where she was into feet and tickling. Not a fan of either, but wanted to try because I really liked her. I had fun, but don't want to do it often. How do I tell her without hurting her? Wow. I love that someone's coming to us to advice. I think that you should have the conversation, basically sort of how you came at us with it, is just being super open and not judgmental. I think that's the biggest thing is as long as she doesn't feel like she's being judged, it'll be okay. If you come into it and be like, you know what, I really had fun, and I really like you, and I'm like not I don't know if you have to say I'm not judging your kink, but just sort of something along those lines of, I'm not judging what you're into at all. I think people should be into what they're into, but this is something that I'm not really interested in doing a lot. Would you be okay if maybe we did this less often, or maybe we didn't do this again. Kind of like that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kindness. And I also think you can compliment her other parts so she understands it's more than her feet. Like, if you really are into other things, you can say exactly, have an honest conversation in a nice way. Be like, I just feel like we can try other things, because the most important thing is letting her know you're into her.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we lose sight if you don't say that enough, and then we think it's automatically the negative you don't want to do with us. So yeah, saying like, can we explore? I love other parts about you, not just your feet. And he tickles. Is that what her fetish is? He tickles her feet.
So I think it's, let me see, really into feet, where she was really into feet and tickling. So if they're saying she's really into feet, maybe
she's tickling his feet.
That's what I'm guessing. That's what I think is going on here. I'm not entirely sure though.
Okay, that's a first. I wish I was a psychologist with these things to really understand the psyche behind.
I know, same. I want to know what it is, because I know a lot of that, because I do OnlyFans. I have a lot of feet people. I have people who are super into tickling as well. Like, that is actually way more common than you realize. And it's
what is it about
so
it?
interesting.
Just like they like how you are when they tickle you, or
so some people like me to get tickled, and some people like me to like maybe pretend like I'm tickling them. Like it's different for everybody, and some people are into like very specific things. Same thing with feet. Like if you scrunch your toes. And it's so interesting to me, because I do wonder what it is. Like, what is it about it? But it's something. People are into it.
It's something. Yeah, everyone's into something. But I would have that conversation and just try to keep it kind and, hey, can we switch it up? That I feel like someone told me that I would understand what they're saying. Like, it would hurt me a little bit, but then I would be like, no, he's right. It's, we could do.
Yeah. We can do other
else.
things. And here's the other thing. If she is like, no, this is... if this is something that is a deal breaker for her, it's better that you know now. So even if she's like, no, this is something that I need to be happy in a relationship, you can then make that decision of whether you continue the relationship or not. So either way, it's a good idea to bring it up just so you know. You're like, is this something that I can continue doing long term?
Exactly.
Or is this something that I just need to walk away from now?
Yeah, like when I had a conversation with my ex, it was awkward because there were some things that we were both different. We were into different things. And when he wanted to do certain things, I was like, we have a chat, it's not, I really am into you and I really am attracted to you, but is there a way we can explore other things? And then he understood and we did. And I think that's okay. And then eventually he didn't. And that's why we're, not together either. I found out what he's into, what I'm into, and we can't live with the rest of our lives clearly having two different dynamics, but it's better that we knew now than being in 5 years into it. And then we're like cheating on each other more, or he was, no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to say he was cheating on me, but you never know.
Hopefully not.
So hopefully, a lot of guys sometimes also like they'll try to be the good guy by like not saying they're cheating, but they'll say to other people they broke up with you when you didn't really have unfinished business, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's complicated.
James T said she was into tickling me and also getting tickled. Got it. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'd say just bring it up with her and be kind and just be very open and non-judgmental in a way of that you're like, you know what? I think it's really cool that you like this, and it was fun because I really, really like you, but this isn't something that I really want to do all the time. Like, it's maybe not for me constantly. Yeah, just sort of in a nice way like that. I think that's all it is.
I think she'd be open to that.
Yeah.
I think she'd understand that.
Yeah, I agree. Sizzle Chest says fetishes are a way to avoid intimacy by focusing on something else. Very well understood by shrinks. Really? Interesting.
So they're going through something else and they're masking it with the kink. No, my kink is just dirty talk, I think.
Is that a way to avoid intimacy?
But I realize a lot of people don't want to do dirty talk.
Dirty talk's great. You know why? I think people get self-conscious about it.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Because you don't know if you're being good. And it's like kind of like you're performing for the other person.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Because that's how I feel about it. Because people ask me for dirty talk sometimes in videos and stuff. And I'm like, I feel like I can't do it.
I get that. Right. I have to really be in love with the person in the moment, lost in the moment. I think. Yeah. It's not like I'm with everyone, but yeah. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's tough to do for strangers. You're like, please don't judge me. Oh my God, what do I say?
Daddy.
Like, it's so
It's literally
weird.
like me talking dirty talk to David right now, and we haven't even met in person.
Exactly.
Right. So it's like,
Exactly. Give David a little
hey, Daddy
taste.
David,
Oh.
how are you?
There it is. There it is. David, you like it? You like it? Mm. Ah, interesting. Yeah, you can't force dirty talk. You absolutely can't. A lot of people with kinks can't get off without it, so I don't see how it's avoiding intimacy when it's kind of the only path to it for them. Didlotic, I also wonder, I've heard that it's like, they think it's like paths that got crossed in the brain, and that's why people are super attracted to like feet or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yes, people said that as well. So I don't know. I feel like we know so little about the brain. We don't know shit.
I feel like I should just start an OnlyFans with my feet then. If the feet is, I've definitely been complimented about my feet.
You have a
Most
wiki
parts
feet.
of my body.
Did you know that? Okay, yeah.
Everyone's saying that. So what is that?
So, and the reason I know this is because when we were looking for a picture of you for the thumbnail, to make the thumbnail, if you Google image, a picture comes up of you in a bikini with like standing in the mirror and your feet are showing. And I was like, this is an odd picture. And then I looked and the site that it came from was just like the angle of it. I was like, what's happening here? And I looked and the site of it was, haha, I just followed her on Instagram. David, I love it. Sorry.
Yeah, David, I'll follow you back.
Is WikiFeet. So WikiFeet is just a place where people go and upload any pictures they can find of you that have your feet in it. And so it's just a way for them to, all the feet people, to have a foot page for everyone who has pictures of their feet out there. That's any sort of public person.
So someone literally thought that they should just snap my feet and put it on WikiFeet. No wonder my ex broke up with me. He said this to me. No, I'm kidding. But he did mention it. And I was like, what do you mean it's on Wiki? Like, then he said what you said. And then I looked at it and I was like, what? And then I forgot about it until you brought it up. And is that crazy? Is that normal or just with public figures?
Oh, it's just with public figures. That's everyone. Yeah, super normal. I have one.
Okay.
And then they like rate your feet. It's a whole thing.
Oh, am I rated? Oh, did you know what?
I didn't see your rating. I don't know. But I would imagine if you've been complimented on your feet, it's probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe like I'll make money off my feet. Who
Yeah,
knows? I just don't understand it.
I don't get it either, but
No
people
judgment.
like it. I know, I don't care. Like what you're into. I want, someone to pee on me for Pete's sake. Like, who am I to judge?
I get it.
I don't know if I'd be into it. I just want to know if I would.
Would you be into?
I don't know.
Oh,
I just
right.
want
I
to try
get
it out to
I get
see.
it.
Backhand said, "What's that sound I hear, Zia? It sounds like the wedding bells." Sizzle Chest says, "No, you focus on the feet, so you don't have to focus on the person."
Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting.
That's
It does make sense.
maybe. All right, this was a really fun one. Chanel, thank you so much for joining us. This was very it's not always dating heavy, but this was a dating heavy one, and I enjoyed it a lot. There was a lot of good dating advices that we gave. I feel like we did good.
We did well. I'm so sorry again to everyone and you about the technical difficulties. Hopefully it doesn't interfere, but I had the best time. I always have the best time with you. This is awesome. Yay. I love it. I love giving advice. I love learning. I love hanging out with you guys. It's important. I think it's important also for all of us to have a community to be able to talk about this stuff out loud and not be judged and not feel embarrassed and be like, hey, I could get really sage advice and apply it to my life,
And sometimes as I'm texting Nick, I think he might be coming up. There he is. He's already on top of it. Producer Nick is doing a good job.
Have I ever met your husband?
I don't think so. When you came on Chip, he didn't come in, so I don't think you have. Nick, put your hand in front of the camera and say hi.
It's your husband. Is that your husband?
That's his hand.
That's his hand?
That's his hand. James says, Zia, one more question before he goes. Zia, since you do tickling on OnlyFans, do you understand why it's so popular? I don't understand why it's so popular. But that's just because it's not a kink for me. So it's I feel like any fetish or any kink, if you're not into it, you don't really understand it.
Right.
I don't get it.
Right. It's not a judgment.
No, I just know people like it. Fine with it.
But I could see that. I could see, okay, first of all, a beautiful girl like you being tickled, I get it. I just don't like being tickled. So I feel like I've been a little harsh with my partners when they wanted to tickle me. And I'm like, I just can't take it because I laugh really hard or.
It's just too much for some people. I get it. All right. besides Just for David, tell everybody where they can find you outside of here, all the stuff that you're doing, what you got going on.
Yes, please follow me at Chanel Omari on Instagram, at Chanel in the City podcast. Zia, we have to have you on the podcast on iHeartRadio. We're gonna have Zia soon. We've had like housewives, comedians, influencers. It's a great podcast. Check it out. We also have the All-Star Comedy Show. I do one every month. I'm doing one August 26th and September 30th at the Ainsworth, and it's portions of the proceeds. We work really hard to raise awareness and give portions of the proceeds to City Harvest, which I'm passionate about, to feed the hungry and the homeless, because there's so many hungry people in New York City. You don't even have to donate. You can either donate directly to them, cityharvest.org, or volunteer. Like sometimes I just volunteer and I help feed the homeless and just, bag up the bags. And we go to Whole Foods and take all the extra produce so we don't throw it away, just to give them healthy meals, because they also are deserving of healthy meals. So that's what we do. We give back through laughter. And hopefully you can just tune in. Oh, and you can also check out my reality show, which was 10 years ago. And you'll understand a lot about me, called Princesses of Long Island on Bravo TV or Peacock if you're bored. It's a good way to but yeah.
Love it. Awesome. Guys, go support Chanel and all that she does. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like on this stream, because that helps a lot. Leave a comment. That also helps with the algorithm a bit. I'm definitely shadow banned on YouTube, but we're still growing. We're still getting there. If you guys are new to the stream and you haven't followed me on social media, it's at Zia_land on Twitter and Instagram, XiaLand on OnlyFans, XiaLand on Kick. Subscribe to the channel. That also helps out a ton. I'm getting so close to 10K is my goal before the end of this year. So hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for a solo Sexy Sisters, because Jenna's out of town, at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here, same channel. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much again for watching, you guys, and chatting and interacting. I love you guys, and thank you so much for all of your support. It means everything to me. All right, I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye.
Guys.